Ladies and gentlemen, how the hell are you? Jeff Kesel, Kesel Guitars, hanging out for my weekly live Q&A. So weekly live Q&A, if you're new to these, this is AMA, so you can ask me whatever you want. You can ask the questions now, and at some point, the questions are going to get read to me. Typically in the beginning, I'll talk about kind of how things are going here, maybe share some info with you, or maybe talk about an artist, show off a couple of customer builds, and then show off my deal of the hour. Towards the end of the segment, we are going to spin the dreaded Wheel of Death and see what the hell happens, see what it lands on. If it's a speed question, story time, tip of the week, etc. I think we need to get a new wheel. New categories, like keep these ones, but maybe have like some new, even funny ones in there. I don't know. That could be really cool. But I'm going to kick it off first with my deal of the hour. The reason why it's called deal of the hour is, you guessed it, it's a special price for this 1 hour. This is our brand new HK, Headless K series, which is neck through. Beautiful bevel all the way around the whole entire body. Bigger arm cut than we have on our other guitars. Deeper body cutaway and better, smaller neck heel access. So making it, in my opinion, the most comfortable guitar that Kesel offers. This one has a master grade poplar burl top, master grade roasted flame maple fingerboard. Of course, 7-piece neck, which is standard. This one has mahogany body sides, beautiful trans black burst on top and back, and it's been raw tone finish. What a raw tone finish is, it's our thinnest finish that'll still protect the instrument, but it'll give you the maximum amount of tone. That's why we called it raw tone. It's a very raw look, very natural look. You can feel the rawness of the wood, but it does give you the full tone. So it's called raw tone. Black covered pickups with gold pole pieces, drop shadow gold logo, has just a volume knob, pull up kill switch, 5-way selector. These are our Lithium pickups, 25.5-inch scale, Kesel trem. We're going to let this one go for $3,500 shipped right to your door. This is probably about a $4,000 guitar shipped. So during the live, if you want to take advantage of it, just call my guys at 858 Guitars and tell them you want the deal of the hour. You would be the only one with a Headless K-Series 7-string with a trem. Ebony backplate and ebony backplate here with the 75th logo. This is our 75th anniversary model. Thought I heard the door open, but maybe I'm tripping. It might have been the other door. So that is the deal of the hour. Customer guitars. Let's check this one out. So we have a neck through Aries. Let's see who this is for. I see that I signed the back of it. This is for Eric. I'm going to butcher that last name, so I'm not going to try. Beautiful poplar burl top. Looks like antique ash underneath this moss green. Color treated board. Reverse headstock. Gold hardware, all black and gold, very cool looking. The wood knobs. This actually has our acoustic system, so it's got the acoustic piezo pickups in each of the saddles of the tremolo, and then has the magnetic pickups. What's really cool about this system is you can either get magnetic, both magnetic and acoustic, or acoustic only. So making it a very versatile guitar with a lot of options, because you still have your standard 5-way magnetic pickups, volume and tone, and then you have your volume for your acoustic. So you can blend your two volumes accordingly, even if you are trying to have both outputs on. Of course, neck through construction, beautiful walnut and maple neck, and just a gorgeous build. All right, and got some versatility going on today. Check this out. All right, so this is for Anders. And beautiful top on this one. It actually has a redwood, burled redwood top. It's got a fire finish color treated board, flame maple, Just a gorgeous instrument, nice and lightweight. And of course, with these Zeus acoustics, they're not full body acoustic guitars, obviously, and they don't have the same projection and sound that you would have from a full body acoustic. But what you get is you get this lightweight, compact package, still 25.5-inch scale. It's going to play like an electric. You're going to have a volume increase over an electric guitar, standard solid body, but it's not going to have that campfire acoustic, really loud ringing sound. So they're meant to be plugged in. Amazing electronics on these two. And on that note, custom shop, we are kicking ass for sure. Starting to try, we're getting more caught up. We really are. We have about 1,000 builds in the works now. We were all the way up to about 1,400. We've worked our way into the thousands at this point. I don't know exact numbers. And we're still quoting 16 to 20 weeks, but I see that dropping by 2 weeks coming up here really soon. So if you've been thinking about buying an instrument from us, now is actually a good time, because I do see our wait times coming down as we've been throwing more time at these builds, right? We've added staff, we've added time, working a lot of overtime. The thing we won't do is we're not going to rush. We're not going to rush the instruments. We're going to make sure they're perfect before we ship them out. And that's something we've really strived and done a lot of great progress on, is our QC. So really happy with the team we have here. So anyhow, that's a little update from the custom shop. And let's get to your questions now.
Rodrigo is asking, I placed my order when the build time was 12 to 16 weeks, but a few weeks later it changed to 16 to 20. What is the time I would wait?
You're going to wait as long as it takes, brother. If you 2 weeks later it went to 16 to 20, you're probably right in that realm there. And keep in mind, these are custom instruments. It's not like we're waiting for a mold to just drop a bunch of injecting something in there and saying, oh, well, the mold's open, so now it's your turn. It's not how it works with a custom guitar. We're the fastest custom guitar shop in the world, so just be patient. That's all I got to say. Anybody else have questions about their timing on their build? Just be patient. Yeah, we're going to get it done as fast as we can, because we'd like to get the rest of the money you owe us, and we'd like to build you another guitar. So trust me, we want to get it done, but we're not going to rush it.
Can we get the Becker Yin Yang in different colors? Same pattern, but say black and grape jelly.
No, that's not something we offer.
Cody is asking, how much for a set of pickups with wood bobbins / coils?
We don't sell the pickups with wood bobbins. You'd have to do that on a build, and it adds $500 to your build.
I own a Solo 8 and a Vader 8. I'm thinking about switching the pickups on both. Which pickups are compatible?
Well, I don't know if you mean as far as dropping them in. They're going to fit. They're interchangeable. But if you mean as far as compatible, I don't know what pickups you have in there. I'm assuming you have lithiums. Maybe you want to try berylliums. Maybe you want to try the illusionist, or I don't really understand the question. Sorry.
How many strings is on the deal of the hour?
That's a 7-string. Yeah, 7-string with the trim.
I believe this person's name is Clayton Lee, but he says, saw my HK M8 in your store yesterday. Looks killer. You nailed it.
What's up, Clayton? Yeah, man, that thing came out amazing. That thing should be finishing up any day now. Clayton, him and his family, they have a great company, Akai CBD. Check their products out. Definitely great people.
Ian is asking, do you use a different sealer for opaque versus transparent finishes?
It's not something that I'm at privileged to tell you.
Do headless models take less time due to less wood, or about the same?
About the same, actually.
Norm is asking, do you have to get AAT with an Arctic finish, or can you get something like Summer Ash instead?
You can get Summer Ash on an Arctic if you wanted. Or you can get no finish, just leave it natural.
What is the small white dot on radium bass pickups?
On the radium bass pickups, I believe it's actually like a gray dot, and that would mean that it's a humbucker.
Thomas is asking, is it possible to get a thicker top wood on an Aries to obscure more of the body wood of the deep contour on the front?
Absolutely. We can even build one out of solid exotic wood if you want. All solid flame maple or quilted maple. We've done that for people.
Is the Godot trim available on the California carb top?
I'm not sure. You can call the guys to ask. I don't know about that.
What magnet does the thorium use?
The thorium uses a ceramic magnet.
What sets Kesel active pickups apart from other active pickup brands? I find a lot of active pickups suck tone, but curious about the Kesel polarity pickups.
It's a great question. So the biggest difference with the Kesel polarity system, and I'm going to call it a system because our pickup itself doesn't have the components built into it that a normal active pickup does. We have our components in the circuit card that's in the actual guitar. So it's a large card that is in the actual electronics cavity of the guitar, and that controls the sound, that shapes the sound. So that's the biggest single difference. Because what happens with a company like, let's say, EMG or Fishman or Duncan, they're a pickup company. They're building you pickups that you can just take and install in your guitar real easy. You know, adding a battery box and doing a little bit of wiring, but you can add their active system very easy. You wouldn't be able to add a Kesel active system very easy because it's a circuit card that goes in the guitar, and that hooks to the flat wound passive pickups. And so by doing that, you have full-size components mounted on the active circuit card of the Kesel system, so you don't get any of that unwanted compression. A lot of active pickups have been known to have a lot of compression because the components built within the pickup, they're microscopic because it's got to fit inside the pickup. They're fitting everything in there for you, which I understand what they're doing. We're a guitar manufacturer, so we're able to build a circuit card with similar size components you'd find on a mixing console, so full size. And then we have our passive pickup that's wound very flat. So it's just taking the signal in from the strings and then it's getting processed by the card. So what you end up with is you end up with all the benefits of a passive, the individual string bounce, articulation, resonance, the coil splitting. We even do coil splitting, true coil splitting. But then you have the control of the active built into the card. So it's a great system, and nothing on the market does what ours does. Because again, we have we have the ability to do it because we're building a guitar. Great question, though.
Ty is asking, is there any examples of a purple Saber finish?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, Google it.
What pickups would you recommend for classic metal? Megadeth, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, etc.
You might even want to try a beryllium neck paired with a thorium or illusionist bridge. That could be really cool.
What guitar would you recommend for my first headless guitar?
First headless. It depends on your guitar collection. I would look at our HD, our Headless Delos, and I'd also look at the Vader. And the reason why I'm choosing those two is I feel like they fit a lot of styles of guitars out there already that maybe you've already played.
Tanner Wakeman is asking, who is the first signature artist that you personally made a guitar for?
What's up, Tanner? First signature artist that I made a guitar for. Man, I don't know who it would have been. I could say the first Kesel signature artist I made a guitar for, not Carvin, would have been Lee McKinney. Yeah, he was on board. He was like, I'm all in with the Kesel. So that was really cool. And man, there's some raspberry jam happening. I finished your guitar today, dude. It's pretty badass. And I wrote inside the pickup cavity for you, so it's you got the special jam on there. Even says that.
Jerry is asking, can you only order guitars online, or could we come to the store to order an axe?
You can come to the store. To do that, you have to call and make an appointment. You're going to ask for Flock, and he's going to make an appointment with you. And the window that we have is around 20 minutes to get your specs in and build a custom guitar for you.
Can you give us lefties a statement as to why you don't want to make us a Type X or Lightspeed headless?
Because I'm going to sell 5 of them, and it's going to be double the amount of programming we've already done. That's the quick and dry version of that. I remember I was getting a bunch of hell for the Jason Becker Numbers guitar, very popular guitar. We've sold hundreds upon hundreds of them. People were giving me a hard time for not making them left-handed. So finally I offered them left-handed. Since offering them left-handed, I've sold 3, when I've probably sold 600 or more in right-handed. So there's your answer. So it's like, oh, I'll get a Type X, but I need this trim with these pickups, but I want a top and I want this scale length. It's like, by the time we double all of our programs, I can't do that. I just can't. I'm not trying to have you guys feel left out, but all of our popular models are available in left-handed. It's the stuff we don't sell as much, or maybe I sell 100 of them a year. I can't offer in left-handed because that's, if I do the percentage, that's like 2 or 3. I can't do it.
Hey Jeff, I'm really eager to get my Vader HSH in a couple of months. What's the least metal-oriented 7-string custom shop guitar you could build me, in your opinion?
Least metal-oriented 7-string. I would say probably the least metal-looking could be our Delos. Now, a lot of guys are starting to play those guitars again. They were really big, obviously, in the 80s, a Strat-style guitar. And those are kind of making a climb back. But that could be your more classic-looking and less metal-looking guitar for a 7-string, depending on what headstock you put on it and how you option it out. I'd say that with like a GT headstock could look very classy, if that's your concern.
What's the difference between the Lithium and Illusionist humbuckers?
The Illusionist is a ceramic magnet. Lithium is an Alnico 5. And the Illusionist has a little more output than the Lithium. So the Lithium is here as far as output. The Thorium is up here with higher output. And the Illusionist is kind of right smack dab in the middle.
Joseph is asking, I accidentally forgot to check the box for the 25% deposit when I ordered it in Aries a couple weeks ago. I was charged in full for the guitar up front. Is there any way I can revert that back?
That's a question for accounting. That's not a question for Alive and me. You can call accounting. Sorry you forgot to click a button.
Any new finishes in the works, like crackle or spiral finishes?
Nothing new in the works per se. I mean, I'm always tweaking stuff. Customers will ask for something special, and I'm always working on stuff. But there's no like, hey, here's a new custom shop finish we're adding. So if you want something custom, and you have an idea, I'm willing to try to knock something out of the park for you.
Tim is asking, can you explain the name Delos?
It was just a cool Greek name. That's literally the extent of it. I was looking for some cool names, and we did some research, not on meaning, but just on, looking for, we don't want to have every name start with an A, like we already have the Aries, and so we're not trying to have everything start with an A. So you try to get different letters of the alphabet, because when we type up a guitar, it's a D. A D6, a Delos 6-string. So, I originally had Del Mar was the name that was actually going to be. That's a city in the area. And there was some like ultra tiny builder that I don't even know is still in business that, was using that name. And so then we changed it to Delos. I think we had it one day, not even a full day, like 2 hours as Del Mar. Wasn't it, Brandon? Like 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah, for that.
And then we changed it to Delos.
Yeah.
So, and probably most of you don't even remember that. And we did research. They weren't even protecting the name, because I guess what happens with names, if the name is actually a city, you can't protect it. So I didn't even know that at the time, and my attorney told me and was like, well, I wouldn't want to name it a Del Mar anyhow. You can't even enforce it because that's the name of the city. So anyway.
Is it possible to fix custom Floyd rows in rose gold or bronze colored hardware?
We don't offer that, no. Mm-mm.
What is your most aggressive pickup? I need help deciding for my next build.
Most aggressive is going to be the thorium bridge pickup and lithium neck.
Will you ever open a window to order rainbow sparkle builds?
No plans to do that. I mean, we did it a couple of years ago, but there's no plans as of the moment.
Abraham is asking, can you add Midi to your Delos model and other bolt-on models?
You can add it to several models. The Delos is not one of them, but you can call my guys for, what models. The Aries is one that you can do it on.
The person that was asking about the Solo 8 and Vader 8 said, can I throw in Fishmans or Seymours?
If it's a multi-scale, no. If it's not a multi-scale, you might have to do some trimming of the ears on your pickups you're trying to put them in, or pickups you're trying to put in. But that would have been a better way of asking the question. I didn't understand the question, sorry.
Adam is asking, could you do a bridge pickup and volume only on an HD?
You can, yep.
If you're getting attacked by a swarm of beavers, which Kesel would you use for defense?
Swarm of beavers. I'm going to go with the light speed because it's fast. I need to be fast with those beavers because they got some teeth. And I don't want those teeth chewing through me.
Jared is asking, can we still provide our own pickups on a build? And if so, how much extra would it cost?
You can, and it's $50 extra.
How much is a color-treated fretboard?
Depends on what colors, fades, and you can call my guys. I think they start at $250.
Patrick is asking, would there ever be an advantage to a pickup with one ceramic coil and one Alnico?
Not that I can think of, but maybe there is. I haven't tried that before.
Is it possible to swap bolt-on necks on two Kesels, assuming they're both Kesel bolt-ons?
If they were the same style construction of bolt-on, yes. So for example, Osiris and Zeus, but you would not be able to do Delos and Osiris. So different necks sometimes have a little bit different construction. You can call the guys if you have more questions about that.
Can I get an M22 SD pickup and 8 strings?
You cannot.
Do you guys have plans to make a dual neck?
A double neck? We already offer double necks.
Would Dean's 8-string hyperdrive kill a child if it was dropped on them?
I would say morbidly, probably yes. I don't know why you're asking that or thinking that. It's kind of a weird one.
Do headless guitars do well going between different tunings? Very excited to see my spalted maple top layout.
They do. That's not a problem. They actually stay in tune really good. The thing I want to remind you guys, because I hear this question a lot, alternate tunings. When you drop your tuning down, if you go like a half step, you're probably fine. But you start going more than that, you need to re-intonate the guitar. Meaning you need to actually move the saddle. I'm not talking about just tuning it. You actually have to move the saddle brake, because when you drop the tuning, it's not going to hit your harmonics as you play up the register. It's going to be tuned open. It might even be tuned, at the 12th maybe, and at the 24th maybe, but probably not. So you'll have to actually move your saddle if you want it to track perfectly. That's the case with any guitar. So if you have requests for special tuning or even your special strings, we can do that on a Kesel build. It's not a problem. You have to do it at the time of the order. So if you're going, oh shit, I didn't do that on mine, it's too late. Don't call the guys. We don't make any order changes at all for no reason. Not strings, not tuning, nothing. And I know it sounds like, well, why can't you do it? You haven't strung it up yet. Because we got to go chase the guitar down, find it, scratch it off. And it's really because you forgot to tell us something to do. It's not because we made a mistake. It's because you guys made a mistake, right? So we had to stop doing those kinds of things. But on your next build, you can definitely have UCS, use customer strings, no charge, and do alternate tunings, no charge.
I ordered an AC375 on April 29th. Will mine be the last AC375 built?
I doubt it, because the guy that ordered it in June is going to be after you. So we discontinued it July 1, and we definitely sold more than one after April. Yeah, we didn't sell a lot of them, and we might have sold 30 or 40 of those a year. So, 3 or 4 of them a month. So there's probably several after yours. But that's cool that you got one of the last ones.
If you were asked to be a member of BTS or Backstreet Boys, which boy band would you be in?
Neither. Yeah, I just wouldn't do it. That's just not who I am.
Tyler is asking, Jeff, my guitar was supposed to be done August 7th. How's it coming?
I don't know. It's coming along.
Has a California single cut 7-string ever been considered or requested?
That's been requested but not considered, no.
Can you make a double neck Vader with a 4-string 30-inch bass and a 6-string guitar?
We can. Yeah, absolutely. Call my guys if you're serious. It's not going to be a cheap build, but we could do it.
So does the Kesel active system almost act like an active preamp that you would find on a bass?
No. It really acts more like a mixing console, I would say. That's probably more, closer to what it is.
What finish is the deal of the hour, and how much would that finish cost?
It's a Cali Burst, trans black Cali Burst. It depends on what guitar you got it on, price-wise.
I have several lefties from you. Best lefty company ever. Looking into custom 6-string bass, but nervous about choosing. Any suggestions?
Well, thank you. If you're not, I don't know if you're a bass player. If you're not a bass player, you might want to try going headless and even going with a shorter scale. So if you wanted to do like a 30-inch scale bass, the Vader is the only one we do in a 30. Neck through, great bass. Otherwise, if you want a full scale bass, I would still recommend a headless because 6 strings can be kind of big. So maybe check out the Zeus or Osiris. They're bolt-on, so they have that extra punch that you might be looking for in a bass.
Ian is asking, can the HD be ordered with a black Pearloid pickguard?
We do not offer black Pearloid pickguards.
How often or how do you decide to experiment with unique wood types?
It's not super often, but from time to time I'll just, hey, let's try this, and I'll just try some things.
If a specific model's shape and specs is dependent on CNC programming, why is there any use in discontinuing a model?
Because we don't have room for all the extra old codes. That's exactly why. So yeah, your CNC machine, like right now, I have almost 9,000 codes in it. I can't have that many. I need to get rid of some. And so you have to get rid of the stuff you don't sell. Well, what do you sell the least amount of? The least amount I sell is left-handed. So of anything, that's the least amount. So, we keep it only on certain models, but, we have to get rid of models over time. We just have to. Plus the guys, when they're sanding them and shaping them and working on them, if it's not a model they do often enough, it takes them longer. Well, if it takes them longer, we're less efficient. If we're less efficient, we make less money. We could even lose money. Well, we're not doing this to lose money. So it'd be like, well, Chevy, you still have the stamps to make a 55 Bel Air. Why don't you make them? Well, because the whole production line's not set up for that, right? It's just we can't keep everything around forever. It's not a good way to run a business.
What's your favorite wood for a fretboard that projects good sound?
I like Ebony's a lot, and it definitely projects. It's a harder wood. Ebony's are great, whether it's, the standard Gabbin, black ebony or royal ebony or pale moon. Those are all great. Some people call it black and white ebony. Those are great.
What is summer ash treatment?
It's a special treatment that we do to give it almost like the piece of wood has been, kind of out in the sun and just has this really cool vibe to it. I don't know really how else to describe it. It was actually something I did for a buddy of mine, a very famous guitar player, which I probably shouldn't say who, and I won't, I guess, but I did it for him on a build. He has a signature model, a very successful signature model with another company, and I did the very first one for him. And we actually have a lot of artists that will buy our guitars, and they have other signature models with other companies. You know, it happens very often. We just don't ever tell anybody. But it's pretty cool to see them coming through the shop, or, you know, typically I'm working with the artist at that point, and it's just neat, you know.
Can I still get the Alan Holdsworth signature guitar with a headstock?
You cannot.
Can you build a guitar using koa wood?
We do.
Could you make a custom scale length on any guitar? How much would that cost extra for the programming?
We don't offer custom scale links.
David is asking, I have 2 guitars with lithiums. I'm wanting something less bright and more dark sounding. What pickups would you recommend?
Well, you could try something first before you swap the pickups out. I would try lowering the height of the pickup 1 full turn with the screwdriver on each side. Try that. Try 1 more full turn. And if it still doesn't lose some of the highs that you're concerned about, you know, you could go with our thorium bridge pickup, or you can even go to the berylliums. They're not quite as bright, and they're going to be a little less output.
What's the most popular top?
Probably Poplar. Nobody even got, like, come on, Popular. Jeez, you guys are terrible. Terrible audience over here. Not you guys, these two. I know you guys were laughing.
I wasn't listening.
Wasn't listening.
I didn't hear what you said anything.
Savannah, what the hell?
I got my headphones in.
Oh, literally nobody's listening. Dang. All right, go.
Charles is asking, how much is it for a neck pickup delete on a 6-string Theos?
I think it's $100. 50 or 100, you have to call the guys.
Will the hyperdrive be available in an 8-string?
No plans. I mean, we made the one for Dean, but no plans.
Paul King is asking, would it ever be possible to order a walnut ebony neck again?
No, it won't, brother. Sorry, dude. What's up, Paul? What's up, KK?
Do you offer Cocobolo fretboards?
We do.
Is it possible to design a guitar body for Kesel guitars?
It is not.
What guitars come with Evertune options that aren't listed on the website?
I think everything's listed on the website, but to run it down, it's Aries, Solo, Evertune, Aries, Solo, Crescent, the Andy James, and the AJ2 should be those 5 models.
Jose is asking, does the Solo 6-string have the same upper fret access as the TL60?
It has actually better than the TL60 did.
When are you going to sleeve out the other arm?
Oh man, I need to. One of these days, real soon, hopefully.
What do you think about the double ball and string system used by Steinberger?
I don't like it personally. It forces you to use that particular string, and if you're not wanting the gauges, I don't know. I like the freedom of being able to run whatever strings I want when I want, and that's the beauty of the Kesel system is you can use whatever strings. So I think that's better than being stuck to one style of string. But if you like them, then that's cool for you. It's just not for me.
What options are going to save time on the build?
Bolt-on is going to save time. No top, not getting a top will save time. Raw tone saves some time. Those are probably the biggest time savers.
Did you ever work with Tony Mcalpine? I thought I saw him playing a carbon on one of his videos.
Yeah, we did actually. We used to make his signature model, the T-Max 6 and T-Max 7. And, great guy. I never worked with him personally. I did build him a guitar several years back and got to take it to him and hang out. Super cool guy. Unfortunately, their trailer was broken into not long after I gave him that guitar, and everything got stolen, including that guitar. But what a hell of a player.
How did your association with Alan Holdsworth begin in regards to designing his guitar?
That was my dad. My dad and Alan worked together back in the 90s, and my dad designed all of Alan's guitars, actually. The only involvement I had was at doing a refresh on his HH model, chambering it out further, offering it solid body for the customers that wanted solid body, because Alan had a solid body and a chambered one. He'd use both of them in the studio. Put a different trem system on it, the Kesel trem, which he loved. And then my dad redesigned his pickup. So that was the involvement I had with Alan. I mean, besides, being friends with him and all that, but that was the business involvement I had with him.
Have you ever considered making a headless flamenco or classical guitar model?
I don't know how the bridge system would work, as far as wrapping the strings, with the nylon string and then grabbing it. So, or even the nut holding it for that matter. If a system was out there that looked good, I mean, could we consider it? Maybe.
I want to repaint my Aries. Should I just find someplace local, or are you guys going to be able to do it?
We're not doing any refinish work still. This is, I think, year 5 or year 6 of not doing any refinishes. So I would definitely recommend finding a good automotive shop and seeing if they could paint it for you.
David is asking, what body would you recommend for a deep, thick, dark tone?
Deep, thick, dark tone. Well, deep and dark don't necessarily go together for tone. I mean, a deep tone, you could have some swamp ash. Kind of a dark tone, you could have some walnut. So it's kind of hard to recommend something for you. Maybe a chambered walnut body will get you there. I don't know.
Can you repeat what the deal of the hour is?
It's a Headless K-Series for $3,500, shipped right to you. Beautiful mahogany body, master grade flame maple fretboard, and master grade poplar burl top. 25.5-inch scale, 7-string, raw tone finish, ready to rock and roll for you guys and gals.
How much would it cost for a purple to gray burst on a maple top?
I don't know. Depends on the purple, depends on the gray. You have to call my guys, honestly. If it's not colors, we have standard that can go up quite a bit if you want custom colors.
Can I get a traditional bridge and controls on a solo?
No, you can't. That'd be a cool option.
Do you think you could do a Zeus acoustic bass? Sorry, that was it. You just worded weird.
No, I mean I could, but I'm not offering a Zeus acoustic bass. Sorry.
What color stains would you recommend for a Koa top?
None is what I'd recommend. I would not do anything to that Koa. Maybe a trans black burst around it would be cool. Other than that, I'd leave that Koa alone.
The Zenith passage is asking, would you ever make a guitar out of your racing tires?
What's up, guys? Man, that would be rad, huh? You get that nice bounce attack, What's going on? I'm sure it's Mr. Justin McKinney. And didn't they just drop a new song?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was badass. That was what, 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you guys better be checking that out. Justin killing it.
Any plans to ever do another run of Becker Osiris's?
Nope. No, because we told the people this is it. So I'd be a liar if I did another run of them. So if you see one come up on eBay or something, snatch it up because that's it. Those are going to be worth some money someday.
Hey Jeff, where are your metal headless headstocks for your headless guitars made?
Metal headless
I
headstocks?
think he's talking about the headpiece.
Oh, the nut piece. Those are made by Hipshot. It's an exclusive proprietary design that we did. They can't sell them to anybody. They're not allowed to. So it's a design just for us. But Hipshot makes them for us.
I travel to different countries a lot. What is the best type of wood that is resistant to these weather changes?
I'd recommend a 7-piece neck like found on this one. You know, where you have the walnut, purple heart, and maple. This is my favorite neck for touring. Any of our touring guys, I try to get them in on this neck. Not just because it's stable, but the feel. You know, and ask these guys on here, anybody that has a walnut neck, you know, you hadn't tried a walnut neck before, and then you try it and you're like, oh my God, I see what the appeal of these walnut necks are. You know, I've been preaching about the walnut necks, and then a lot of people are getting them and they're going, holy shit, that's what he's talking about. They feel amazing. A tongue-oiled walnut neck is hard to beat. And the great thing about maple and purple heart is they have a similar feel to the walnut, you know, and they're very stable. And they look sexy as hell too, so that's always a good thing.
Doug is asking, what's the thickest 6-string neck profile, and can it go on any of your guitars?
We can do some double thick profiles on our bolt-ons. Yeah, call the guys.
How does the Lithium singles sound in Swamp Ash versus Alder?
You know, Swamp Ash is going to add a little bit of mid-range and bass to them, where Alder is just going to make them sound more like a single coil. So it depends on what tone you're trying to get out of it. If you're trying to round it out a little bit, I'd go with the Swamp Ash. If you're really going for that single coil sound, then you probably have the wrong pickup to begin with, and you need to get Mark singles in there. But you can go with Alder if you're just trying to keep it a little more conventional sounding.
Justin McKinney is saying he has a few necks with walnut, and they're the best necks ever.
My man. What's up, dude? You need to come down and hang soon.
What's your favorite DGD album?
Oh, I don't know. It's in between Mothership and Artificial Selection. I don't know. They're both like, there's tracks off both of them where I'm like, holy shit. But I love those guys. They're awesome.
Can you get oak? Any experience with white oak specifically?
We don't offer oak. Sorry.
What gave you the idea to do a headless acoustic?
You know, you think about it. It's like you want something compact that still has a decent sound to it without an amp. And it makes sense to have a headless acoustic. And the Zeus, being the single cut, I thought was the perfect model to turn it into. And I finished the very first one actually on my birthday. And I just was messing with the guitar and showed the sales staff, and they were like, that thing is so cool. I showed it off on a live. And I think that same day I was like, well, if anybody wants to buy one, I guess we can do these. I think we sold like 20 of them that day. And I was like, it wasn't supposed to be a model. It was just supposed to be a guitar for me, and turned into an actual model. So pretty cool.
What's the reverse headstock guitar in the camera shot? I just joined the chat.
It's a customer's guitar.
Have you ever made any scalloped fretboards?
We have.
Any plans on designing new pickups in the future?
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, nothing in the works, but yeah, of course.
Did I make a rookie mistake with a zebra wood board on a McLaren yellow raw tone Thanos bass? Or will it look sick?
I think it'll look sick, actually. Yeah, I think it'll look cool.
How much thicker is a bolt-on body for an Evertune?
I don't know the exact dimensions off the top of my head, but I want to say it's just under 2/10, if I'm not mistaken, about 150, but right around there.
Is that a new HK on the right?
It is a brand new HK. It's my deal of the hour. 3,500 shipped.
Can you do a 17-inch fingerboard radius?
I cannot. I do 14 and 20. And honestly, if you go to 20, you're not going to tell a big difference between 17 and 20. So if 17 feels really good, you'll really like 20. As the radiuses get higher and higher numbers, there's less of a difference between the steps. Like there's a big difference between a 10 and a 14. You go 14 to 20, there's a difference. But 17 to 20, I don't know if you'd even be able to tell. If you were blindfolded, you didn't know what guitar it was, they were both identical feeling, I don't think you'd even be able to tell. Brandon, do you think you could tell?
I don't know, honestly. Probably not.
14 for sure.
Yeah.
But 17 to 20, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell like a 7.5 to a 10, but you can't tell a 9.5 to a 10. You know, like we don't offer a 9.5 like a traditional Fender. We also don't offer a 7.5 either. But our 10, you can't tell 9.5 to 10. Maybe Greg Howe could, but you know, we're not Greg Howe. So,
Are you guys hiring?
we are hiring. Yeah. Always looking for good people that want, you know, they want to work, they want to be here, they're excited about it, and have great attitudes. That's what I want. We can train you, but that's what I want. You know, I'm really like at the point in what we're doing in my life and my career where I just want people that want to be here. That's the most important thing to me.
Have you ever considered doing a fretboard with no radius and a 0 fret?
I have not. And I'm getting these signed to spin the damn wheel. Just waiting for that. Oh, damn it. I'm going to think if I have a story, if it lands on story time.
Ooh.
Son of a bitch. All right. Story time. All right, give me a topic, Brandon or Zach or Savannah. Anybody? I have a story I'll give a quick racing story that I told the other day. It was 2015 Nationals, and it was the first year I didn't have a co-driver. Normally I have a co-driver, and so what that means is your co-driver goes out before you. They come back in, you put bags on the tires to keep the tires warm. About 5 minutes later, you get in the car and you go. So it helps to have a co-driver. Well, the very first year I didn't have a co-driver since 2004. I go to Nationals 2015, and it starts to mist for first runs. Well, I don't have a co-driver, so I got to go out, and the track was starting to get, not wet, but damp a little bit. I go out on my run, and the reason why this is so fresh in my mind is we went to the same place where we raced Nationals just 2 weekends ago, and we got to race the same exact course, the identical course. They reset it up, and we got to race it again. Well, it was really fresh in my mind because it reminded me, and so I'm going out, I'm doing my run, and I'm coming back up, and I hit a cone, which means they add 2 seconds to your time. So typically you hit a cone, you're done. It's over. So, I'm making my run, and there's a section where there's a straightaway to this really tight pin turn, and so I brake too early, and I'm like, son of a bitch. So I get back on the gas, like total rookie mistake, which I don't do that kind of shit normally. This is my first run at the track. We don't get practice. So then I get on the gas again, and then I don't get on the brakes early enough, so I blow that corner a little bit. So I have a shitty time, and I have a cone on top of it. I'm pissed, because then it opens up. It just dumps, right? So had I had a co-driver, I would have been in the wet all of my runs. So I would have lost for sure. So here I had an opportunity in the dry, because I didn't have a co-driver, to get a dry run in, and I kind of screwed it up. I really screwed it up. So I'm sitting there in my car, and I'm in second place. I'm back by 1.1 seconds because I hit a cone. So I would have been 9/10 ahead had I not had the cone. And I had a shitty run. The time was terrible. But I'm sitting in my car, and I have the umbrella because it's dumping like hell, and I'm in an open cockpit car. And some jackass, I don't even know who it is to this day, walks up to my car, and he goes, better luck next year. It's a 2-day event, right? I have the next day to race, right? And I'm only back 1.1 seconds. This guy's like, better luck next year. And I look at him, and I'm like, better luck next year? He's like, yeah, I see you're back pretty far. And I look at this guy, and I'm like, I'm going to win tomorrow. And he's like, huh? I'm like, well, you're counting me out. I'm going to win tomorrow. I'm going to win by more than I'm down today. He's like, you think so? And I'm like, you come find me tomorrow at the end of the day, and I bet you I'm going to win. And the guy's like, okay. And he kind of chuckles and walks away. Well, day 2 rolls around. I do win. And It's just kind of a funny story that like recently I thought of because we just had that same exact course. So it brought back like all those feelings of that race, you know? And it just goes to show like no matter what situation you're in, don't count yourself out, you know? And I'm not going to count myself out ever. You know, it's like I know what I'm capable of. And so even if you screw something up, you do something, you're not happy, beat yourself up, but pick yourself back up and perform to your best the next opportunity you have. It's the same with playing a show. You know, you're a chef and you're cooking or something, you have something happens, whatever the case may be, everybody can, you know, learn from an example like that. It's like, you know, you just need to always try to do your best. Even if you are down or you get kicked in the balls, a good one, do your best. So you got a topic for me for a real story?
That was the real story. We're out of time.
Oh, we're out of time. Well, look at that. On that note, I won't be live next week. I am going to Nationals, this race I was talking about. So we're going back to Lincoln, Nebraska for solo Nationals. I fly out on the 1st, and I'm back to the shop on the 14th. Trying to pull down my 14th national championship, I think. Zach will be going for his 4th. My wife will be going for her 12th or 13th. I don't know. I think 12th. So yeah, and Kayla will be going see if she can get her first. And on that note, we're out.